It has been nicknamed the worst week of college football or the most boring week of the year, and they may be right. Just look at the games this week and you'll agree they don't seem appetizing one bit. But I'm here to tell you differently, that there is hope in a great weekend of our favorite sport. Anytime there is a week of so-called boring games, the exact opposite tends to happen. In recent years, weeks like the one we are having this upcoming weekend have been filled with insane games, including a ton of upsets. Today, we will be going through some of the games that I could possibly see being an upset, or at least being entertaining and competitive. But first, before we get any further into this video, I would ask you guys to make sure you go like and subscribe if you enjoy my content, and if you're new around here, go ahead and do it anyways if you like college football. But anyways, let's get back to why you clicked on this video. Starting on Friday night, we have a very underrated matchup between UNLV and Kansas. Former defensive coordinator for my Arkansas Razorbacks is the head coach over there for the Rebels, and he has done an incredible job. I wouldn't be surprised if he landed a Power 4 job in the next year or so. He may even be back at Arkansas if Sam gets the boot, but I would for sure look out for this game. Not many people will be watching this game, of course, since it's starting around the same time as the top 25 matchup happening Friday night between Arizona and Kansas State. Huge game there for sure, but seeing how UNLV has played recently, I think Kansas loses another big game for the second week in a row. It's going to be a huge blow to what has been a magical few seasons for this Jayhawk program. I have Rebels surprisingly winning by 10 points here. We cannot continue this video without talking about the big fraud elephant in the room, the Florida State Seminoles. We all know how those first two games ended up back-to-back upsets against unranked opponents while being ranked in the top 10. I've never seen that happen in my lifetime, but they are back home after a much needed and well rested bye week, and they'll be facing off against the Tigers of Memphis. Now this Tiger team has handled their business through the first 2 weeks, unlike somebody, so it'll be interesting to see how these two teams of opposite seasons go up against each other. Not only is football a physical sport, but it's also a battle of the mind. If you're not right in the head, you will not be right on the field. It's very simple, but then again, FSU is coming off a bye week, so I think they get it done finally in front of the home crowd there in Tallahassee. Getting this first win can definitely take off a bunch of weight, not only the players but the entire coaching staff. Next up in the afternoon slot, we have the Oregon Ducks heading into a hostile environment against their in-state rival, the Oregon State Beavers. Both teams are undefeated 2-0 heading into this game, and what should be a fun game to watch. Oregon hasn't really looked like an elite team everyone expected them to be. They started the season ranked at 4, and after 2 struggle wins, they find themselves sitting at number 9 in the AP poll. But hey, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. I had to learn that the hard way last week. Anyways, I honestly could see this happening. This season has already been so crazy, so what's another top 10 upset against an unranked opponent? This feels like a right time for it. If you bet, I would keep a close eye out for this game. Now, the big upset watch of the week that everybody has talked about is Tulane traveling to Norman, Oklahoma to face off the Sooners. Now, if you watch some of my previous videos covering the last 2 weeks, you would know I hate the so-called upset watch of the week. Note, the upset watch of the week games are the games I point out where the underdog has a chance at beating the favorite, and you hear it everywhere. You turn it on ESPN, you'll hear it from your dad, you hear it from that random coworker. Everybody's talking about this possible upset that's upcoming this weekend. I'm telling you right now, put all your money on the top dog. Put your money on the favorite, because when there's so much media hype around it, it always tends to lead the top dog's way. I don't know if it's the players hearing what's happening across the media and them just playing way better, but when there's a lot of media hype around a upset type game, the upset never happens. So for that reason alone, I'm going with the Sooners this weekend. I have them winning by at least 20 points. Talent-wise and on paper, OU should win this game by a lot. But hey, Tulane's a good team, and OU has struggled the past couple weeks, so you could see an upset, but I'm saying you will not be seeing an upset. Put all your money on OU, trust me. The Backyard Brawl, one of the most underrated rivalries in all of college football. It should be played every year, and the fact that it's not means someone responsible should be thrown in jail. No matter how much the better opposing team is, this game has and will always be a fun, close game to watch. If you haven't seen Pitt versus West Virginia, I suggest you make some time this weekend and enjoy this masterpiece of a game. Should be a fun one like always. Pitt doesn't look too good this year, to be honest, and neither does West Virginia, but I believe the Mountaineers have a slight advantage. They had an early test against Penn State and blew it. Now Pitt did come back on Cincinnati, which was a very good test for them, but this is the Mountaineers' chance to gain back momentum heading down the season. I got WVU by 3. Colorado versus Colorado State. Another in-state rivalry matchup between two schools that live to hate each other. Honestly, should be a fun game to watch. The Buffaloes are favored by 7 points. Seems reasonable. Primetime and his Buffs badly need a win here. This whole Dion experiment seems like a whole disaster. He's brought all this talent to win back-to-back pending 4-win seasons. But hey, the Buffs were 1-11 before his tenure, so give him some credit. He just doesn't seem like a head coaching type on a bigger stage of college football, but I do see the Buffaloes pulling this one out. I got Colorado by 1 singular point. For our final game of the weekend, we will be talking about none other than UCF traveling to TCU, a in-conference matchup between schools who have 3 letters to represent themselves. This game is probably one of the most evenly matched games of the weekend. Honestly, could see it go either way. You have former Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson as a captain of the football team. He honestly hasn't shown anything spectacular this year, but he's played in a much tougher environment in the SEC, so the crowd noise shouldn't be a problem with him heading into TCU. But then again, TCU is at home, so I do believe this gives the Horned Frogs a slight advantage. TCU QB Josh Hoover also didn't look that special in my eyes. Looked like a decent QB. I believe this could be one of the more interesting games to watch, definitely evenly matched, but with that home field advantage, I do have TCU pulling off a win in overtime. If you love college football, make sure to go like and subscribe for more content such as this. I make a video every week relating to the best sport ever to exist. Also, go follow my Twitter. I live tweet during the season, so if you like more college football content, go to Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it. My DMs are also open there. Anyways, enough talking. Let's watch some football. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend of another great college football weekend.